Welcome to the Trust in Mae Podcast, where we have real talk and ask hard questions to inspire healing or just more trauma humor. Either way, trust Mae, it's probably going to hurt. Welcome back to the Trust in Mae Podcast. I am so excited. We have a special episode for Mother's Day. We're back with my very special guest, my favorite guest, my mom. Thank you guys so much for all of the feedback and support. I've had so many people reach out and tell me just how much they loved our episode, Mom.
Really?
Like, lots of votes.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Seriously, they were excited. They were like, oh my goodness, it was so nice to see your mom and get to see kind of the dynamics and get to know your personality a little bit. So,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody. I was happy to do the episode with my daughter, Maymar, and that was the first time. So, I was nervous, but yeah, I want to be honest and true always, and I just hope that will help encourage not only my daughter, but each and every one of you.
At the very least, me. Because if your mom ain't your number one fan, then you ain't doing something right. So, on that note, today's episode is actually going to be it's going to be insightful, but really it's going to be fun more than anything. 'Cause it's a chance to get to know my mom from her perspective as a mom, and also get some wisdom and encouragement from her as well. So I have a few questions and I'm going to let her kind of answer and just, she's going to be the star of the show. So happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there as well. I'm happy to be a mother, to be honest with you. I love motherhood.
She rocks it.
Thank you.
So, on that note, let's start with some fun ones. Make sure it's not close to you.
Okay.
Good. Good. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now, hope you can hear me.
Yes. So, let's start with what's one of your favorite memories of me as a child?
You?
Yes, of me.
Besides carrying you for 9 months?
I wasn't a difficult pregnancy.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, you're the only pregnancy that was the opposite of all my other children. I have 5, so Maymar was the one that would give me morning sicknesses at 7 o'clock in the evening, p.m. It was like clockwork. The other children was in the morning, like 6, 7. It was just, those morning episodes that it's coming on. But for Maymar, it was the flip side. It was the evening. And back then they didn't do uh they didn't reveal, your gender. So I kept thinking, this has got to be a boy.
Explains a lot, y'all.
Because it was the opposite of my girls. And I remember that in the evenings it was 7 p.m. every night. I was sicker than a dog. And until it was over, that trimester was over. However, when she was born, little did I know, as she started learning how to write, she was left-handed. And when she was eating, everything was left-handed. So she was my left-handed child, and all the other children are right-handed. So I could see where that was something unique about my pregnancy with you.
I was special.
Yeah, you were special. So
it sounds like a nightmare. What about a favorite child?
that's not a nightmare. Motherhood is so beautiful when you give birth. Trust me. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. It was cute. It was so sweet. So sweet. You were such a beautiful child. All my children are beautiful, but
We are.
you're absolutely adorable.
We are. Anything unique, funny, special from when I was a little kid?
Well, the thing about you that was special, um, very demanding.
Oh.
And I thought that was okay. I had to learn. I had to learn different personalities with my children. And
What was I demanding about?
I had to conform. Well, you were demanding in like how you specifically wanted your shoes or your clothes or things like that. If as soon as I'd fix your hair, you didn't like it, you'd pull it right out. And I'm like, okay, you didn't like that, so I'll have to do something different. Those were true stories that really happened. And and yeah, that was different.
I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, it's
I
so
and I'm
cute.
over here like I was an angel.
You love to climb. I'm not gonna lie. You were a climber. I was every time I turned around, she was climbing. I'm like, I gotta get her out of that window. That's a true story.
Before she eats the concrete, and then she ate the concrete.
She did do
Yes.
that.
Yeah, now I'm jumping out of airplanes and off of waterfalls and climbing mountains, so they were not able to break me.
Yeah, no, couldn't do that. Very strong.
Oh, I didn't know
Very
that.
strong will. Very strong will.
Okay, well, what do you love about our relationship now?
Oh, now?
Now, yeah, where we are now.
Well, I love it that as motherhood and adults, you always try to be a mother to your child, right? You try to be a mother and guide them right and steer them right because you always want the best for them and you always want them to be happy and well. And then when you get older, you realize not that you're always going to be the mother, but they're adults. And so you have to respect them as not just your daughter, but as your daughter,
Hmm.
as your friend, as like your best friend. Like you meet somebody and you become friends with them, you still have to respect them in that way and encourage them. Always encourage them.
So, what do you love most about our mother daughter friendship relationship where we are now?
Now,
Because we've come a long way
yes,
from
ma'am.
heartburn and morning sickness.
Yes, this is correct. What I love now is that we can be ourselves.
Hmm. That's a
Um,
fact.
ourselves. You have to be able to be yourself and not fake, I mean, um, that's the real that's home. When you're at home, you can be yourself and still love each other no matter what. My home is your home. I've always been this way. I've always given my children the key to my house so that they could always come when they needed it, even if I was here, if I wasn't here, because I trust my children. Thank God I can do that.
Mhm.
And I understand that it's not always possible for everyone, but I'm grateful and thankful that for that. And what I really appreciate about our relationship now is that wisdom and knowledge and growing and learning and teaching each other
Mm.
um, good and positive things that we've learned not only in Christianity but in everyday life.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, it's true. We talk a lot. We talk a
and
lot.
when
We
I say
share.
that, like gardening or micro gardening or um, reading books or
Boys and
and boys
cooking
and
and
cooking
traveling,
and
all the
traveling
fun
where we've
things.
been. And those are good memories and good things to talk about with your children or where you at, where are you going? Because you always want to know where your child's at. You want to know where your heart's at because we live in a world today that you have got to be connected with your children because life's short and
Hmm.
there are people out there who will snuff your loved one out of your life just out of pure meanness and hatefulness and you don't you have to communicate with your children and make sure they're okay and where they're at.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So, what's something unexpected being my mom? Like you have 5 kids, you have experience with all of us in completely different ways. 'Cause we're all very different, though we're similar in some ways. But what's like something super unique or unexpected that you've experienced as my mom?
That's a very good question, Layla. And this has happened to me for real when we went to Colombia. I cannot tell you how thrilled I was to go to Colombia, and we spent that time in Cartagena, And we're on our way back to the airport. And we stop at this little restaurant to eat before we go to get on a plane. And then while we're at the restaurant, she said, "Oh, by the way, you're going home by yourself." I was like, "Huh." Now that was unexpected. Oh, she's like, "I'm staying a couple more weeks. I'm gonna go backpacking." And I was like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "You can do this. You can ride home on the plane by yourself." Those kind of things are unexpected, and I did not expect that. And I was scared for her, and I was like, "Oh." But you know what? She survived it. She did it, and
But God.
and and I was very proud of her for what she did. You really amazed me with your travel knowledge and how you were able to just stand up and say, "I'm not coming home." And, and for me as a mother, I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm going home by
Oh my
myself." Now that
gosh.
was totally unexpected.
I feel like such a jerk because I'm like, I didn't even think about how you might feel as a mother. I'm just like, you'll be fine. You'll get to the airport, no big deal, which was not as actually was not an easy process
It
for her.
wasn't.
She had you had no Wi-Fi, no cell
No
signal.
Wi-Fi, no nothing. I was just on my own. But I did
She
it.
figured it out.
I
I knew
figured it
she
out.
would. But clearly the Lord has plans for me because I don't know what I was thinking.
Unexpected. That's that
That's
was
great.
that was that was a that was insightful for me at that moment.
I'm all about that adventure. Okay,
But I
so
was proud of you
well, because I survived. Had I not survived, she would have been like, "I told you."
for sure.
Oh, and nothing bad happened, thank God. Okay, so on that note, so that sounds unexpected, maybe a little stressful. What are some of the most joyful things that you've experienced as a mom in general, not just specific to me, but the most joy of a mom?
Giving birth, carrying my children in in my womb, my stomach, feeling those babies move around and knowing that I'm going to give life. And when you do, and the moment that you see your child, you're in such awe. And those were so many years ago for me, but I always think about those times because they meant everything to me. That meant that I was maturing, I was growing, I was a mother, and I wanted to be the best mother for my children. I mean, I took good care of myself. I took my vitamins. I went to my every doctor's appointment. And once my child was born, each one of them, I even breastfed because I wanted them to be so healthy and didn't want anything bad to happen to my child, mentally, physically, or uh, I just wanted my children to grow strong and be well. And I wanted to protect them just like a chicken gathers her ducklings and tries to protect all of them. I was one of those mother hens
Mhm.
that I was afraid that anything and everything could happen to them. I remember nights that I would run to the crib and just to check on them, and see if they're okay and breathing. I think most mothers do that.
Mhm.
I, it's not, it's okay. I mean, but it it is part of motherhood. I mean, we have selective hearing. I mean, us mothers hear everything at night. When a father does, he can sleep all night long, but a mother can wake up at the
Yeah.
minute the baby like just make us one little growl or move or whine or cry. You learn everything about your child. You know your child's cry for a hunger, a child's cry for pain,
Mm.
a child's cry for just attention, or a
Mm.
cry for just crying just to be crying
That was
because
for crying to
yeah,
be
just
crying.
just to be crying.
My little sister. She cried to cry.
Yeah, she was one of the ones that had the bed had needles. Soon as you put her to sleep and you go walk her and lay her down, it's like
That was her.
that was for. But anyway, yeah, for me, just motherhood is beautiful. It is heartbreaking sometimes because you can't always be there for them when they get hurt. And you get mad, you get mad like when they get hurt. It's not that you get mad at them. You get mad because you're not there to keep them from getting hurt, And you could tell your kid, don't do this. And then the minute they go out and do this, I told you not to do this because you're going to get hurt. But you know what? You don't have to keep blaming them or getting onto them or reprimanding them for that because they already know they got hurt, correct? So you just love them through it and try to nourish them back to health.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's the thing I had to learn, that when my kids needed me, I had to be there for them and try to make it better for them, whether they were hurt or whether they were sick, many hospital visits,
Mm.
Neymar.
Mhm.
And
Definitely.
yeah,
So, what are some challenges that you faced that maybe people don't talk enough about, especially as a mom? Like, it's like there's so much pressure, so much weight, so much expectation on moms that isn't even addressed or discussed because it's just understood. It's like moms, they got it, they handle it. But there are things that you guys deal with, that you face, that so let me segue for a second.
sure.
You mentioned the cries. Okay, I haven't had children of my own, but even just those years that I had Harleen, I learned to hear the slightest noise wakes me up in the middle of the night because of the years that I had her as a baby and as a toddler. And to know that I can have that with a child that I didn't birth, like I can't even fathom what that connection's like with your own. And so I learned there's just so much, even as an auntie stepping in for a few years, that I'm like, oh my Lanta, I never even considered so many things that go into taking care of human life. So what are some challenges, or what's like maybe like a big challenge that you have faced that you feel that probably a lot of moms face that we don't talk enough about because we're not either aware or we just expect moms to have it figured out?
Sleepless nights is number one.
Number one.
You lose your sleepless nights. I mean, you have sleepless night. You lose your sleep for
Mhm.
one thing. And I think that we're just built that way. We're designed that way. God created us to be this way. It's amazing. And you think, like, where do I get the strength to just wake up and feed these kids and take care of them and make sure they get to school and make sure you're home and make sure somebody's there to protect them, like pick them up, make sure they get home while you're working and trying to take care of your children when you know that there's no one else there for them. Like, for me, my children, my ex-husband and I divorced when my youngest child was 5. And so I had, these children at home that I had to like worry about a lot. And the whole time I was working, I was thinking, okay, I got to take care of this job. I got to take care of this job for my children, myself. So we have a place to sleep and eat and pay my bills. But at the same time, when I work, I know my children are in school or they have I have a babysitter. All that stress trying to make sure, like the mother hen, that they're protected. And those thoughts never went away, Neymar. Um, Worrying about how you're gonna hurry up and get off work to get home, and you got to cook for them, and you got to take care of them throughout the night because the next day, the story starts over again. It's another day, but it all starts over again. That never really goes away.
That's such a valid point, though, because it's like moms are these superheroes, whether you're a single mom or even married moms with careers, but especially single moms. It's just like I can look back and remember the years that she was in school or working, and I never once gave a second thought to her also worrying about us. And not that I thought she didn't care. It's just more of we were kids doing our own thing and she held it down. She went to work at one point, was even in college and still coming home and taking care of us. And so it's like when I look back, it's like, oh, I didn't even consider what kind of pressure, what kind of stress, what kind of weight. Like it's just Lola and me right now. Oh, and sometimes I'm at work and I'm like, dang, I gotta get home and walk her. I gotta walk Lola. I gotta get her dinner before it's too late, and it's just a puppy dog. And it's not that I don't know how to take care of kids because I've done that for years, but not giving enough, I think, credit to moms who do it all. And more than just being able to physically do it all, it's the heart and the mind that you guys have while going through it. That's something I think we don't talk enough about, is that it's almost like, maybe for a long time too, moms weren't allowed to feel the weight of what you were doing because it was expected. But really, it is a weight. And it's not that it's a burden or something you wouldn't want to do, it's just part of the heart of a mom. And I think that we don't give enough grace and credit to moms for not only powering through, but still having the heart and mindset of worrying and thinking about us, but still managing a career, especially back in the 90s, like
Yeah.
being a career woman in the 90s, huge.
And depending on your hours of work, where you could, if you could be at your daughter's soccer game or not, or if you could be at their recital, music or school plays, or it all depend on the job that you had, back then. Nowadays jobs are more, I feel, more lenient
Hmm.
toward mothers and employees.
Hmm.
But back when I was growing, when they were younger, I mean, because I'm not young. I had really demanding jobs and demanding bosses that it was really hard to take time off.
Yeah.
And there was days that I regretted, that I wish that I could have just said, you know what, I'm taking this time off and I'm going to go do it. But then it could have meant my job,
Yeah.
and that could have meant that I didn't have a job and I would have to look for something else. And those were hard. That was very hard to chew on.
Hmm.
That,
Yeah.
knowing in the back of my mind that there were things going on with my children that I couldn't participate in because I had to work. And sometimes, um, you know, I wish I could go back and change all that so I could be there. I wish I could turn back the hands of time, like Cher says, but I did what I had to do at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was always proud of my children for all their success. And you too. You played the clarinet, and you were really good, and you were in, you had your little performances in school. I remember in
Yes.
Oklahoma, where I went to some of y'all's performance because it was like in December, and it's amazing what teachers can pull out of children. So you guys were really good at what you did.
Yeah. There was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
so good.
enjoyed hearing you play the clarinet a lot.
I think all the women today, they're like, oh, I just want to work. Which, I mean, and more power to them. But
Yeah.
it's wild to think of how much society has shifted, right? In that time, she would have given anything to be with us more. And nowadays, it's just like not even a second thought, because either the jobs nowadays are more flexible and accommodating, or people are just like, oh, I would rather pursue my career than focus on those things. And there's just a different shift in kind of
Yes.
priorities and focus. And so it's really interesting, to hear that perspective and to consider, what you were going through at that time when we were just being rowdy, dirty little kids.
I loved all my rowdy, dirty little kids.
Only a mother could.
All right.
So okay, how did you overcome those tough moments whenever it felt super overwhelming, especially as a single mom? Because there were a lot of seasons. What's that?
Oh, that is the rice. It's done. Sorry.
So, when
We have noises that are in this house that lets us know when the dishwasher is finished, or the washer and dryer is
the
done,
rice
or
cooker,
the rice cooker
the
is
massage chair
the
saying, "Hey, I'm
massage.
here."
Hey, I'm here. True.
Very automated home. After all those years of mothering and putting up with our rowdy butts, she's got to have an automated, easy breezy life now. You deserve it, mom.
Thank you.
So, how did you overcome those tough moments? Do you feel like there were ever moments that you just, maybe either you didn't overcome, or you're like, clearly it was the Lord because I can't explain it?
Sometimes it was the Lord. He always opened the doors and he always provided a way. This is so true. But there's times that I feel like I you had to overcome those boundaries. You had to overstep them, and you had to make it happen to be there for your children. And there's times I went to bed with tears in my eyes because I felt like that I wanted to give so much more than what I had at the moment. And yeah, when you have 5 kids, you have to really you have to share a lot. And sometimes if you just have one or two, you don't have to share that much, or just one. But when you have that many, you really have to learn each and everyone's personality because they're all different, as I said before, and you have to accommodate each and every one and love each and every one through their character and who they are so that they develop who they are and not try to treat them all the same because they are not the same.
Definitely not.
Not the same.
Some of
And
us are
even
crazier.
even if they came out of the same pod, they all have different minds, different characters, different talents,
Yes.
different. I mean, it's just the makeup. And
So,
so
what was your system or community, or what did it look like when you were just like, Lord, I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I can't. I can't fill in the blank. I can't provide. I can't overcome. I can't show up. I can't fix. I can't endure. I can't wake up. What was it for you? If it was one or many things, because I'm always sharing with my audience, like there is no one size fits all for each person in each scenario. There are different things that really help with healing and connecting with God and community and all the things. So for you, what are some things that really helped you overcome those hard times?
first of all, it was the grace of God and the ministry that I learned to be part of when I was a in the ministry as a missionary. I only had you and Sabina at the time, and Yolanda, but it's still the ones that went with me were just you two, and I learned a lot about ministry and God ministering to me. And I learned tough times in a third world country. So I lived that life, and it made me really, really strong. And it reminded me of when I was a young girl. I mean, I lived out in the country. We didn't even have running water or restaurants. We had to use an outhouse, and we had to go get fetch water from a well. Those times when I was younger, I had to learn to live like this. And then we moved to urban city and became urbanized. It was so nice to like, oh, we have a restroom. And I mean, those little things you don't even understand, but it does mean a lot. And then when I left at the age of 23, United States of America, to go to the third world country to be a missionary, it brought me back. And I thank goodness that I had that small experience that helped me to be strong during that time. And so with all that training and knowledge that God gave me during those ministering during those times and those tough times, helped me to grow so strong. And I can't tell you how strong it God showed me to be as a not just as a woman, but as a mother, as a person, as a friend, as his child. His strength, and I owe it all to him, has helped me to be the mother that I was in those tough times, even when I came back to America, the land of the great, after 7 years. And then life had its evil ways, and I went through my divorce and I was left with my children to just make it. There were a lot of tough times. And God showed me that you can do it because you've been there. I taught you how to act and be and appreciate the little that you had, but made it great. And for me, those tough times, Maymar, was His love and His word and His strength. Uh, you get not because you ask not. Uh, He will always if one door closes, one will open, and he always did that for me. And he never forsaked me. Thank you, Father God, for that.
Your faith sounds like your
Thank you.
faith was everything, is everything.
It was, and I banked on it because
Mm.
I had to.
But you could too,
I
right?
could because I witnessed
Yes.
many,
Ugh.
many blessings.
Ugh.
We did
That's
medical crusades. I mean, we were in 58 countries, and your father and I, we were over all Latin America, and he got to travel 7 times a year. And out of 7 times a year during that ministry, I got to travel. After we came back to America, I got to travel twice a year. So yeah, I got to witness God's people and God's love and the things that God did for us. And I always say, God, you never forsake me, and you never will. So don't
Amen.
forsake me now.
Amen.
And he did. He saw us through, Maymar,
Still does.
and he still does, and to this day. So I don't know if I answered that
You
question.
did
I hope I
beautifully.
didn't
You
kind of like
beautifully
went
answered
way
it.
off on all
And
that.
y'all, she get it from her
Sorry.
mama. She get that faith from her mama. She get that
Mm,
trust in the Lord from her mama. Like seriously, the more I learn about my mom, the more I learn about your strength and your resilience and your
thank
faith.
you.
I'm just in awe. I'm in awe. And for years, like I can look back and see that there were times that because we weren't as close before, there were times where I'm like, I don't even know where this is coming from. Things that I have in me that I'm like, okay, God, clearly some of it is a gift from God, but I know that some of this was taught to me. And I love my dad, but there are things from my dad that I know are from my dad. And there's some things that I have that I'm like, where did it come from? But the more I get to know some of these stories and have this chance to just talk to you, I'm just in awe because I know that there are bits of that that you instilled in us. You showed us that and you were so much more like loving and forward about it in a way than dad. Dad was much more authoritative and like aquí mando yo, I'm in charge. You were more of motherly and like, hey, this is how I approach God. And if there was any part of me that understood God's love as a child, it was because of you, not because of dad. Dad taught me to fear your God, but you definitely had a heart that really trusted and relied on God, and that was beautiful for sure. So thank you. You answered beautifully. So
Or you get a lot of your brilliance from your father. Your father's a very smart man. So I have to give that to him.
so for you though, don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
Don't
Thank
sell
you.
yourself short, girl.
Thank you.
But yes, he's smart. But
Yeah.
speaking of, I want to see where can we get copies of my IQ? Because I don't know what. Do you know what it was as a kid?
Well,
It's like what?
I do know that in first grade in Oklahoma City, they tested you, and I know that your fluency was off the chart. So, being in first grade, they wanted to put you in fifth grade at that time. So that elementary school probably has your IQ.
Wallace Elementary.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
Well, yes.
Capitol Hill
Yeah,
Elementary.
Capper Hill
In
in
Oklahoma
Oklahoma
City.
City.
Yeah,
That was right
Capitol Hill
before the
Elementary.
Oklahoma City bombing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Wallace was one
Yeah,
after that.
that's
Yep.
right.
Okay. I'll have to
So
look
it's
him up.
probably there, and I just don't remember
I don't
what
know.
level, but I do know that from first grade to fifth grade level, that's where they wanted to place you. That speaks volumes about your brilliancy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes. Well, next and last couple of questions for this special Mother's Day edition that I'm
okay.
enjoying, that I'm loving, because I'm learning more about you. I'm in awe. And
Thank you.
as y'all know, I don't have children yet. I want children. It's like the one thing I think I've wanted more than anything my whole life.
I'm gonna see your babies.
And I've been blessed with so many opportunities to have children in my life that I've been able to pour into that weren't my own. And I'm thankful to God. Like Lord, thank you. If that's the most I ever get, I still feel thankful and just in awe of what he's done. But I still want hopefully someday. So what qualities, mom, do you see in me that you think would make me a good mom someday?
Everything.
You made me cry.
Everything. You deserve the child that God is going to put in your life, and He will. And The qualities I see is your education, your love for God, first of all. You will love that child no matter what. I've seen you do it with your niece, Harleen, and your nieces, Mia and Mira, and all of them. Yeah, you're going to be a great mom. And I want to see it. I want to be the grandmother to see all of it. I want to be able to love your child and hold it and say, oh, that's what you used to do when you were a kid. And yes, you used to make me mad. Okay, you're getting paid back for what you did to me. Those kind of things, that
You deserve it.
that you see.
Yes. You
Like
deserve to see the payback.
then you later learn, like, I'm being just like my mom.
I already am. I don't even have kids, and I'm already like, I'm like my mom.
Nothing wrong with it.
Not at all.
Not at all. And what's that saying? You become smarter as your mother when you're like 27, 20. Okay, it went between what, 15 and 21. You don't know anything. Then after 21 and 20, like, oh my gosh, you know everything.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
you do. Well,
so
what
true.
is some advice, suggestion, encouragement that you would pass down to me as a mom someday?
Never give up. Never stop believing in your children. Always tell them that you're proud of them. Always giving them the 5 minutes of mothering that they deserve because they need it sometimes. But that's it. You don't have to give any more than that. Don't overcrowd. Always be there. Always have an open door. Respect. Back off when they ask you to back off. May not want to, but you have to, right? You have to. Give them the support that they deserve. Pray for them daily.
Mm.
Pray for their protection. Pray for that God will send the right man in their life. That will be not only a good husband, but a good father. And that will, you know, raise them to the end so that they are successful. And to always love his wife first, like put God first. Put the husband should put himself, love himself the way God loves the church. And when he does that, you know that you will be taken care of and your children will be taken care of.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and always remember that God has a plan, and that plan is from the day you take your first breath till the day you take your last.
It
And
ain't over till it's over, baby.
that's right. It isn't over until it's over.
And I'll be a menace to society till I'm done. I'm kidding.
No, you won't.
Thank
I
you,
love
Mom.
you.
I love you so much. Happy Mother's
Thank
Day. I
you.
pray that someday I can be a fraction of the mom that you are,
You will be.
and that I have
You'll be that and more.
pain in the butt kids to pay back for all the hell I've put you through, but not really. Just kidding. For the record, Lord, no.
All the dirty diapers.
Okay, that I'll allow that. I'll allow that.
It's okay.
Well, I'll give them all the tamarinos they want.
Oh, yeah. I love that story for sure.
Yes, thank
It's
you.
beautiful.
Well,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Any last words? Anything you want to share before we close out?
Yeah. I not only love you, I love all my
Oh yes,
children.
she does.
I have 5
She
children,
does.
and I love every single one of them.
Yes.
And you know what? For me as a mother, I have to tell you, and maybe some of you mothers know this. When I would breastfeed my child, one of my child, Amar, Sabina, Ever, Flor, Yolanda, I would look at my child in their eyes, and while they're feeding, and I don't know if some of you mothers have noticed this, but I did because I was so in love with my child. I would say, I love you. And I would look in their eyes, and you know that their pupil would go beep, bing. And that's how you know that they're receiving the love from your voice. That is the most beautiful, beautiful witness you can always have within your you could carry to your grave, that you know that you let your child know that you love them. That's truth.
This is all the stuff I haven't had a chance to experience. But y'all see why I'm obsessed with having babies someday? Because my mom makes it sound so poetic and beautiful as God intended it to be. So thank you. Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
God bless you.
God bless.
Always. Don't give up.
Got me crying.
Don't give up.
Thank you.
Thank you.